Gameranx presents another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and some first impressions of the latest games releasing. Today we're coming in with a little bit of a quickie with Dark Souls 3's DLC, Ashes of Ariandel. Dark Souls and Bloodborne have had some pretty badass DLCs in the past, so let's talk about this one. Basically, it's a journey to another painted world, and to answer the biggest question, yes, it's more Dark Souls, and I don't think that's a bad thing. To start this little adventure, first you'll need access to the Cleansing Chapel bonfire in the base game's Cathedral of the Deep. Which, I mean, first things first, I think I should definitely recommend that you should have finished the main game before you even try to attempt this because it's very challenging. But more on that later. When you fast travel there, you'll find a hooded bearded man on his hands and knees near this altar. Then you talk to him and you're transported to the DLC area. And the first thing you'll probably notice is that the environments have surprising variety. It may not look like much here, but there's some good ass variety. The environments, like always with these games, are stunning. They just don't feel very big. I think that actually might be the biggest cons here, is that while the environments are cool and they look nice, they just don't have that cohesive feel of the rest of Dark Souls 3. There's some really awesome stuff that you can just cruise right through, and unfortunately that's a damn shame. I would have liked to have spent more time in these environments. But like anywhere else in Dark Souls, there's little areas and things to discover and just cool shit. There's also a big ladder that's hilarious. You'll know what I mean when you play the game. I don't really want to spoil the bosses or how many there are, but there's not a lot, but they are good. Enemy types themselves are very challenging, most notably the wolves. While they seem pretty easy to kill, when they howl and call in packs, that whole pack mentality is very hard to handle sometimes, and they actually flank you and can outsmart you and kind of overwhelm you very quickly, and that's what I like, and that's what I was hoping for. Also, there are these tree-type enemies that are very weird, very creepy, and they can get hard when they're all shooting fireballs at you at once. You do get new weapons, items, and armor, and I gotta say, some of the armor looks kind of freaking awesome. But for a lot of games with stuff like this, it may be tough for some to find stuff to stack up to your real endgame equipment. The whole adventure isn't as grandiose or as epic or oh my god as the main game, and it is kind of short, and I think that's a big con, but it is challenging, and it is going to take people, you know, a different range, maybe 5-ish hours, give or take, how much you're struggling throughout it. There's also a new PvP arena, which is available after you beat the optional boss thing. After you defeat the boss, which I loved, I thought it was a great boss battle, you drop the champion's bones, and then you take those bones to the Firelink Shrine and burn them, and then this gives you access to the Hollow Arena. Then from there, you go to the bonfire and you can select Undead Match, and from there, you can pick your match format. There's Duel, Brawl, or Versus. You find a match, you hit enter, and then you go. Boom. And I'll say this is where a lot of the value will lie. This is for players who are into PvP. You gotta love that stuff. Then you have plenty of hours here. Every Souls player is different, so it's gonna be hit or miss depending on what you like with these games, but I think there is definitely some value to these new PvP modes. They're cool. But plain and simple, that's Ashes of Ariandel. It's $15, and if you beat Dark Souls 3 and you're clamoring for more, yes, this is good. It is short, but I think some of the PvP stuff makes up for it. And while it is short, it's challenging, so to some people it might not feel that short, but either way, it's more Dark Souls 3, and I think that's what a lot of people have wanted, and it seems like From Software has provided that in spades here. If you have been playing Ashes of Ariandel, I would love to hear what you think about it. If you are using any of the new weapons or armor types, let me know what your ideal setup is down in the comments below. If you've played Dark Souls 3 but never really finished it, how do you feel about this DLC? Do you think it looks good enough for you to finish the main game and jump into this? Let's talk about anything Dark Souls 3 down in the comments below. I'll be there answering questions as well as on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as well. You guys know the deal. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and we really appreciate it. And subscribing if you're new is a good idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.